Hey guys, welcome to another video, and in this video we will be learning about Turbo Extract Data Raptor and the Extract Data Raptor. So till now what we have done is we have created a OmniScript and then we wrote a load data raptor so that we can save its data to the objects. Now one problem that HR team might face is if they want to see the application and you know everything related to that application, it's they need to go through multiple navigations, right? First they need to click on the application, then from the application they need to go to the the application contact. From there they need to go to contact, and then they need to go to certificates or education, right? So it's a kind of multiple steps for the HR. So we will try to ease their problem, and what we will do is we'll try to create a consolidated view so that they can see everything related to application on a single page. Okay, so we will do the same thing in next couple of videos. In this video we will be seeing how we can use the data raptors, or sorry, how we can use the extract data raptor to get all the data, and then in next video we will use that data and we will create one flex card so that we can show all the data at one place. So let's get started. Let me quickly tell you what's the difference between the extract and the turbo extract data raptor. So let's say you do have a scenario where you want to query one object along with its parent objects. I mean the fields from its parent objects. Then you will be using the turbo extract. But in the other way around, you will be using the extract data raptor. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say you do have ID of one certificate, and you want to query this certificate record, and you also want few fields from its parent contact and few fields from its parent account, right? Means you are going from child to parent to parent. In that scenario you can use the turbo extract. But if you want the other way around, means let's say you want to query the accounts along with its all contacts and along with its all education and certificates, right? I mean, if you think this, how do you write the apex for the same scenario, right? So if you are if you want to query just the certificate and then the contact and the parent, then you can simply write a query, select ID from certificate, comma contact dot name, comma contact dot account dot name, right? So whatever we can do in a single query using apex, we can do it using the turbo extract. But if we need the multiple queries in apex, then we cannot do it using the turbo extract. We definitely need to go for the extract data raptor. Okay. So let's quickly see one example of turbo extract. So I will go here and I will create a new, let's say dr underscore turbo extract example. Okay, I will save this, and let's say this is the certificate. So what I will do here is, okay, looks like I created this as extract. I will change it to turbo extract. Let me refresh this. Okay. So this is how turbo extract looks like. It has only three tabs: extract, options, and preview. Okay, so the first thing we need to tell is which object do we want to query. So in our case we want to query certificate. Now what will be the extract output path? Okay, so basically Salesforce recommend, or the best practice is to use the same object name as we have here, right? So basically I will call this as certificate. So basically this is the node in the JSON, where our data will be. So let's put some filter. I will say where ID is equal to the ID which I copied from this certificate. It looks different, so let me. Okay. This is the same ID. Now here we can select which fields do we want. So for example, I want the expiry date and I want the certificate name. Right? Now let's say I also want the parent contact's name. So how can I do is, I will go to related objects. When you click on this, you will see certificate along with its parent objects. Parent objects means whatever the master detail or the lookup fields you do have, right? So right now I do have the contact. So when I will click on this, it will display me all the contact fields, and you can select from this contact. So I can also search the field name here. So I want the contact name, and then let's say I also want the contact owner's name. So what I will do is, I will again click on this related object, and this time it will also display me the parent of contacts. Okay, so all the master detail or the lookup which we do have on the contact object. So now I want the contact owner, and I want the name field from here, right? So this is the contact owner dot name. That's it, nothing else. Let's go to preview and let's click on execute, right? So you can see here I do have the ID of the certificate, then the expiry date of certificate, then I have the name of the certificate, and then the contact ID. If we go inside contact, then we do have the contact name and the contact ID. If we again go inside the owner, here we do have the name and ID. If you see one thing, we never queried ID, right? Means we never put ID here, but Salesforce by default adds the ID, and we cannot remove it. Okay. So hopefully this is clear. This turbo extract data raptor is very simple. If we want to query one single object along with its parent fields, then we can use it. Okay. Now, in our scenario, we cannot use this turbo extract, because if we see the data model, how do we want? Basically, we will have the ID of a job application. From that, we want to query all the application contact. From there, I want to query its contact. From the contact, I want to query education and certificate, right? So I cannot do it in a single query even if I use Apex, right? So what I will do here is, I will create one extract data raptor, and I will try to query all these objects. Okay. So for that, let's go back to Omni Studio Data Raptors, click on new, and let's create a data raptor. It's dr underscore let's say app data query, application data query. Okay, and interface type is extract this time, and input type is, basically I will pass the ID of application in a JSON, so I will keep it JSON, and I also want the JSON output from this. I do not have any permissions, custom permissions, so I will leave it empty, and I will leave the description also empty. Now this this extract data raptor is created. If you see the difference between turbo and the extract, turbo only has extract, options and preview, but this extract data raptor also has formulas and output extra tabs, right? So we cannot write the formulas on the turbo extract, and we do not need to do the output mappings on the turbo extract. That's why these tabs are not available here. Okay, so here let's start. Now let's see, what do I want to query, right? What do I have with me is ID of a job application, right? So I will start with job application. I will query the job application object. Okay, and again, as the best practice, it should be same as the object name. Okay, and I do have the filter where ID is equal to, for now I will hard code it to any ID, and I will show you or let's do one thing. Let's quickly see how how we can get it from the JSON input. Okay, so on the preview, basically we can specify a JSON input, and there are two ways to do this. Either we can add it as a key value, or we can add it as JSON and we can put that key and value here. Okay, so for now what I will do is, I will say, okay, whoever will be using this data raptor, it will be passing the application ID to me, and value will be something. So let me go to any application for now. and get its ID. So I will go to application contact, then I will go to this job application and I will copy its ID. So you can see it as a JSON here. Now this is my key in the JSON. I can directly use it here in the filter. Okay, so I do not need to use some percentage or something. No, I can directly use the key here. Now now I am querying this job application, right? But maybe I do not want all the fields from this. I want some particular fields, right? So in our case, from this object we want only one field, and that is the stage field, right? So which fields do we want, and in which keys in the output JSON we do want, we need to map it on the output tab. Okay, so let's go ahead and click a new mapping here. So here I will say, okay, the stage from the job application, right, stage __ C field, from this job application it will go to simple stage key in my output JSON, right? So if as soon as I do this, you can see this current JSON output is created and it has only one key, which is stage, and it is of type text. That's why it is showing the value as text for now, right? Let's go and test it once. So if I click on preview and I click on execute, you will see the data is queried, and I do have stage as draft because the stage of this application was draft. Let's do one more. Let's do one thing and add the ID also. Okay. So what I will do is I will basically query the ID of job application, and I will put it inside the ID key in the output JSON. Okay, and I will execute this. Right. So you can see ID is here, stage here. What next do we want? So we do have the job application. From the job application, we will query application contact, right? So let's go and add one more object, and it is application contact. Okay. And the extract output path will be application _ contact. Now filter, which application contact we want is where this is the job application, right? So what I will say in the filter is, give me all the application contact where job application is equal to this job application dot ID, right? So this is how do we write in the Apex. But in the data raptors or in the whole Omni Studio, we do not write dot anywhere. We write is colon. Okay, so if you want the ID from this job application, it will become job _ application : ID. Okay, now we queried this application contact, and let's map its fields also in the output JSON. Okay, so which fields do we want from this application contact? So if we see, we do not have any major fields on the application contact because this is a junction object, right? We only has two master details. One is to the job application and another is to the contact. But for now, if we want, just to show you, I will map the ID of this job application into our output JSON. Okay, so here I will say, okay, I want the ID of application contact, right? And it should go. Okay, so one thing is, let's see how do we structure this first, right? So let's say I want to make a JSON from this whole data. How can I make it? So let me go to VS Code and so what do I want is, at the root level, basically I want the fields of the job application, right? So basically I can say, okay, I want stage and it should be, let's say, draft. Okay, then what I want is then I want this application contact inside job application, right? So for that, what I can do is I want application underscore contact, right? And it will also be another object, right? So what I will have inside application contact is its ID, right? And it will be something, and I will also have the contact inside the application contact, right? So I will create one more key for contact, and it will also be object. Why? Because the contact will have its own fields, and it will also have education and certificate, correct? So I will create, let's say, name. Okay. It will be some values, and then we have, let's say, DOB, right? It will have some values. Then we do have education, right? So I will have education, and in this education will also be another object, right? Because it will have its own fields. So inside education, and I can have name, then I can have, passing year, and then I can have institute. Okay. Now one thing is we can have multiple educations, right? So you might, multiple educations in a single contact, right? So you might say why it is not a, it's not a array, right? So do not worry about that. The data raptor will automatically take care of this, and if there are multiple educations inside a single contact, it will automatically make it a array. Okay. Then inside the contact, one more thing I will have is certificate, right? And this will again be an object, and it can have name and the expiry date, right? That's what we can have. So basically this will be our final output from the data raptor. Okay. So one thing I can do is I can query this, and I can go to this data raptor, and I can paste this JSON inside the expected JSON output, so that it will auto populate me the output JSON path. Okay. So let's call this that's fine. So yeah, so now we are querying the application context ID, right? So where do we want to put it? Is inside application contact and ID fields, means this field, right? So I will select this. That's it. Now let's preview it once. So if we do this, you can see I do have the stage, I do have the ID, and then inside this, the root, I do have application contact, and inside that I do have the ID of application contact account, right? The next thing I need to do is I need to query the contact, right? So basically I will select the contact here. Now which contact I do want is where, the contact whose ID is this application contact dot candidate ID, right? So what I will do is I will put extract output path as contact, and then I will have the filter where ID is equal to application contact colon candidate ID, or candidate underscore C. That's it, right? Now we have queried this object, and we need to map the output JSON. So I will create one more mapping, and I will say okay, the name of contact, right? It will go inside it will go inside application contact name, right? And for now let's map the DOB also, date of birth, right? So I will create one more mapping, and here I will say okay, date of birth, contact birth date, it will go to the application contact colon DOB. Okay. Now I am not querying any other field of contact, but if you need, you can query that also, right? Then next object we do want is the education which are related to this contact, right? So I will go here and I will and it should go inside the education output path, and then filter is where candidate ID is equal to ID of this contact, right? Okay. Now let's go and output or map the fields into the output JSON. Okay, so I will create one more mapping, and here I will say okay, name of education, like this should go inside the education one, right, in our output JSON. And let's say the passing year, it should go inside the passing year in our output JSON, right? That's it. Let's preview this. Okay, so now you can see we do have the contact. Inside the contact we do have contact name, and looks like date of birth is empty for this. Then we do have the education, right? So right now we do have only one education. I will show you one more example where we have multiple education records, and where the data raptor will convert it to the array automatically, right? Then last thing what I need is certificates. So let's go and let's query the certificate also. So let's call it certificate, and the filter is same, where contact is equal to contact colon ID, and I will map it again, and I will say okay, the name from certificate will go to certificate name, right? And if you want one more mapping, which is for expiry, right? So the certificate expiry will go to the expiry in our JSON, right? That's it. We are done. Let's preview this. So now you can see we do have certificate inside the contact, we do have education, we do have the contact details, and the other details, right? That's pretty much done. Now let's see the example where we do have multiple multiple records under a contact, right? So I will go back to its contact, which is candidate, and here what I will do is I will create one more education. Okay, so let's call it BE, and institute is XYZ Institute, and passing here is, let's say, 2000. Okay, so let's preview this now. Here you go. You can see that this education is now automatically converted to an array, right? So that's so simple. And one more thing you can see is on the right side, it will show you all the queries it fired, right? So it will show you that the first query was on the job application, then we had another query on application contact, then we had another query on contact, then we had another query on education, and then on certificate, right? So you can find out everything here. If there is any error, you can also find out that under this error. Okay, so that's pretty much. Formulas, again, this is kind of same which we used in the load data raptor, and I will create a new video on the specifically on the formulas. Okay. The last thing is options. So what options does data raptor provide us? So the first thing is time to live in minutes. So basically what you can do is you can use the cache, and you can store the data in this result data into cache, right? So you can also specify for how many minutes the cache should be sustained. Okay, then we can tell which platform cache do we want to use. So as you know, we do have two type of cache memory: the session cache, which is just for a particular session, and then the org cache, which is shared across the users, right? So whatever the type of cache we want to use, you can select here. Then we have select, check field level securities. If you want to apply the field level securities, then you can use this. Use translations. Honestly, I do not know what this is. And then last is the override target for all null points. So this field is important. How? So in our example, you saw that we did a mapping of birth date, but it is not coming in the JSON, right? The reason behind this is, if the data raptor do not find any value in a particular field, then it will not add the field in the JSON also, right? But if we want the field at least in the JSON, does not matter it's empty or it has some values, right? Then we can check this. So if we check this checkbox, even if it does not has any value, it will come in our JSON and it will be null. So let's try to execute it once more. Okay, so you can see now DOB is here and it is null. Okay, so hopefully this is clear. If you have any questions on the Turbo Extract Data Raptor or the Extract Data Raptor, please comment on the videos and I will try to reply it as soon as possible. In the next video, we will be using this data and we will be creating a flex card where we can display a consolidated view of application on a single page.